Hi, my name is Belinda with Belinda's Baubles, and this is a tutorial on how to paint eyes onto crocheted amigurumi. This is a technique that I've been using for several years now, and I hadn't seen any videos on doing it. I use it mainly when making things for small children or just wanting to change up using safety eyes. And it's a fairly easy way to do it. I am not an artist. In no way, shape, or form am I an artist. I have very basic drawing skills. In fact, I do mainly stick figures. So you don't have to be an artist to be able to do this. And I just wanted to come on here at the beginning, introduce myself, and show you a little bit of what this video is about. I made this kit. I don't have the bunny with me because it's already in the hands of my great niece. But I do have a picture of my finished one here. And I've used this for dolls and stuffed animals and everything that I've gifted over the years. And it is fully washable, no issues whatsoever. The great niece already did try her very best to try to scrape the eyes off, and no luck whatsoever because that thing was in her mouth all day the first day she had it, I know. So I'm just going to move us on and show you the video. So I'm starting out, I'm wanting to do eyes on my bunny. Mainly because she's going to a little one. And here's her tail. I know that's the back. And I'm wanting to put her face on her so that it's not safety eyes or anything like that. So I'm going to start with a fabric painting medium. I've used this in the past. And basically it creates a washable permanent paint for fabric by mixing 2 parts paint to 1 part medium. And the paints that I need to do the eyes for the bunny are going to be a white, a black for edging and for pupil, and then an eye color that you're wanting to use. I'm going to be using brown because the baby's parents, both of them have brown eyes, so I'm assuming hers are brown. And I'm going to be meeting her tomorrow for the first time. And then this will be going back with her. Also some different brushes. Doesn't have to be fancy brushes, and water and a place to mix. I'm just using an old piece of pillowcase that I've used in the past. I also have a pencil because I'm going to kind of draw on the eyes first and for placement. So the eyes that I'm wanting to make, I've done before, and they're kind of a cartoon eye. It's what I favor. They don't have to be exact. And it's according to where you put the pupil and the colored part of the eye as far as for expression. She's going to have a couple of eyelashes. Yeah. This is why I'm practicing a little bit first. Because, I mean, you can put it down here, looking off to the side. You could do it up this way for her looking up, looking over to the side. But this time, I don't want to make her cross-eyed. I'm going to have her kind of looking over to the side, I think. No. This is why you can kind of mess with it a little bit first. Let's do down below. Kind of looking on. Yeah. I think that'll work. Okay. All right. So I'm going to get this over onto here. So first I'm going to find where I'm going to put the nose. We'll go around there. So now I can figure out my eyes. And this is going to wash off whenever you actually wash her after she's dry. Let's see here. About that size, I think. After you get the first one, then you can kind of, and this will be going where I'll be going over this part with black paint. This helps you kind of get an idea of how big you want it to be. All right, so at this point I can see I'm using 1, 2, 3, yeah, about 3 stitches, my 3 stitches. The eyes, and I've gone over one to the second one from the nose. So I'm going to follow along here, nose. So I'm going to start this one here. I'm going to go up to there. It's all kind of free form. Doesn't have to be exact. And again, we're going to be painting over this. Let's come down more. To go. I think I'm going to go up a little higher. And what I'm doing is I'm creating the space that I'm going to be putting my white base paint. Yeah, I think that's about a good size for the eyes. Okay, so now I need to mix my medium with my white paint. Because this is going to be kind of a wider coverage, I'm going to use a little bit larger paintbrush. Now this is a water-based acrylic. Get that trash out from underneath there later. And over here we're going to do a little mixing. Remember, we're going to do 2 parts and move her over to the side here. Okay. I don't know if you have to shake it or not. I just prefer to. So we're doing 2 parts to eyeing out 1 part. You don't want to thin it down too much, but you may have to go over this a few times. Okay. And yes, the white is already white, but the purpose of this is to be able to put the eyes on, the pupil and the eye color on. And I'm going over top of where I had the black. This first layer is going to really soak in a lot more, which is a good thing. Since all the paints are going to have this medium in it, then it's okay if you miss part of it. You just want to get good coverage in here so that your other colors will go on good. Again, I don't feel like it has to be exact because this is a one of a kind. And there are a lot of different eye styles and everything if you search them up online. As far as basic, I look at the cartoon eyes are the ones that I like. I'm evening it out a little bit. Okay. I know it's a little harder to see that. This one's already starting to dry. It's no longer all shiny. And I am going to go over it one more time with the white. If you mess up, just remember this is water-based acrylic, so you can get soap and water and clean it off real quick before it dries. Okay, layer one done. Time to clean the brush. We'll be coming back to the white later, but next is going to be the eye color. It's good to have a paper towel or just something that you can mess with here. Now, the eye color is going to be a little more detailed. That's why it's nice to have these different ones. So you've got liners, script liners, round detail, filbert, so all these different ones. I think this triangular one would do really good. If I can get in there. Here we go. Okay. Break it up a little bit so it's not so rigid. So again, I'm going to do the color down at the bottom, and so I'm going to put the blue and the green aside since I'm not going to be using them. And I'm going to put the bunny aside while I get into the brown paint. Now that I'm getting more into colors, I'm going to get me a couple of baby wipes. Okay, so let's prep the brown paint. You don't need very much at all. I'm doing a little bit over because once I get this white paint out, or this medium out, it's going to be hard to go with just a little bit. And bring Bunny back. How are we doing? Okay, so she's not fully dry yet. But the area we're going to be working in, she's dry enough. Okay, so I'm referring back to my drawing, and I'm wanting to just do that little loopy loop in color. I'm going to take my glasses off so I can see more better. See what happens if it's not fully dry, it does mix in with the white a little bit and it makes it a little lighter. But you know what? That's okay. Yeah, I have a little bit more problem over here. Okay. Because I don't want a super dark brown anyways, because I need to be able to see the black for the pupil. Okay, this stitch over here is kind of going wonky, so I want to just kind of smooth it out a little bit, make it look a little softer. Okay. All right. I'm happy enough with that. Okay. So next up is going to be the black of the pupil, which I'm wanting to put over in the corner on both sides, and then outlining it and doing the eyelashes. Now, that part I do need to make sure that this is dry. So I'm going to have to set her aside for a little bit and come back and see you guys in a bit. Okay, so I am back again. This is all nice and dry, and it's time to add the black. I'm going to get a very fine one here, because part of what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting the outline around the outside edges, adding eyelashes as well as the pupil. So again, we're doing 2 parts paint to 1 part. So 1, 2 to 1 part fabric painting medium. It's pretty thin, so even though it looks like the dots are very similar, they're not. Get all that mixed in really good. Because this is going to end up going through the washing machine and everything, with it being a baby's toy. All right, hands are, oops, hands weren't fully safe, hold on. Okay, hands are now safe. And glasses are off for detail work. Okay, so I'm going to start by adding the pupil over here. And you kind of just feel it out on how you like it as far as the size of the pupil. That's good for me on that one. So let's do this one. I'm starting from the inside edge and working my way out. And I'm just kind of dotting it on here at this point. It's like with haircuts, you can't put it back, but you can, do a little bit at a time to begin with. And that's pretty even. Okay, so now I'm going to roll a little bit of this off because we're going to do the outlining work. And I'm going to start on this side because of me being right-handed, because I'm going to be coming across. And I don't want to smear that pupil or any of the paint. And so I'm just doing a little bit right at the edge of the white. Sometimes you just dot it in there. Sorry, that wipe is getting to me. Since there's not a whole lot on the brush, you may have to go back and forth a little bit more. Again, we're dealing with crochet stitches, so it's not going to be a straight, perfect line. So are you seeing any of the issue that I'm seeing right here? I came over too far on the right, so I'm going to have to come back and put a little bit more brown in there and a little bit more pupil. And I'm going to have to do the same thing over here. That's okay. All good. Each eye and even whenever I did multiple projects that were the same, the eyes always looked different on each one, so it made each one very unique. So I'm going to do a little eyelash here. I'm just going to give her a couple of eyelashes on each side. Because I'm not doing eyebrows. Okay. Now, I'm debating on, I'm thinking I'm just going to do a nose, a little black nose right here. Let's see, how do they have her face done? Okay, so this is the picture from the kit. So they just have a little triangle down. So I think I'm going to do that with paint instead of stitching it on. And I'm going to do it with the black. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is find the center between the eyes visually, and I'm just working my way over. And the nose is going to be basically a V shape. That's the way that they did it. They just did it with thread. I really do want to thank y'all for joining me on this video. I know I'm not great at tutorials. I'm hoping to get better. But I really do appreciate you coming along on this journey. Okay, so now for the mouth, I'm just going to do a straight line down. And it's just, I'm kind of just eyeballing it to see how far down. They took it down pretty far. And it just makes for a very basic look, but it's so cute. And painting on crochet, it is a lot of dot type work because you're just filling it in. And now I'm just going to thicken it up a little bit. There we go. All right. So like I said, I'm going to do a little bit more brown. I'm going to look at her. Yeah. My old one had dried while we were waiting. Okay. So I'm just going to tap right in here. Okay. And go back over to the black. Tap right on top of it. Could I have just done the black here and not the brown? Yeah. Well, I kind of wanted to have a little bit of shading in there. And I wanted to see if I liked the brown on its own. Okay. So there is just one more step that I want to do. I'm going to add a twinkle. With the white. So make sure I get all the black off there. Yep, not yet. Okay. Still has a little bit more black on there. Okay. Mix this. And we're just going to give her pupil a little sparkle. Wherever you decide you want to put it. And there we go. She just needs to dry and she is all done. Oh, I love it. And then she's ready to go in the washing machine afterwards with your little ponytail. No safety eyes, nothing to pull off, and she's all set. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this helped you and gave you some new ideas of how you can paint your own eyes onto your amigurumi projects. And again, my name is Belinda with Belinda's Baubles, and come on over to my channel anytime to see what I'm up to next. Thanks a lot. See you next time.